It's been so long since I did this and now I'm a little bit nervous. Hi! I bet you didn't expect to see me here after all these months. Welcome back to my channel if you haven't been here before, and I think most of you guys haven't been here in a long while. If you've forgotten who I am, my name is Lynn. My real name is Lynn, and yeah, I basically disappeared for almost 8 months, I think, on this YouTube atmosphere kind of thing. I decided to come back and film this video, and I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I've been away for 7 months, but I'm not gonna talk about why. And I also didn't want to be like, hi guys, I'm very sorry for disappearing, because I've heard that some people also just don't really care. But I've gotten some questions as to why I didn't post any content anymore, which is very kind. And I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna discuss some of my personality traits with you, and maybe you find them reliable and you find some comfort in knowing that maybe some people like me are exactly like you. But I do want to talk about today about something that I sometimes struggle with, and it is something that has an effect on multiple aspects of my life, and one of those was YouTube. And it's not the most serious one, but it's, you know, YouTube is kind of like a hobby for me. I like doing it. My personality just got in the way, I guess. Today I'm gonna share you just kind of as a makeup related thing as well, my makeup routine, what my everyday makeup routine has been like for the past couple of months. I'm gonna put my hair back and then we can start. So I prep my skin with, these have been products that I use almost, you know, daily. I've actually repurchased these two, so that should tell you something. It's from the same brand. It's the COSRX Aloe Soothing Sun Cream in SPF 50. This is my sunscreen that I use every single day. And then the COSRX Propolis Light Cream. This is very moisturizing. This is something that I only use during the winter, and even when I use it in the winter, I use like a dollop of it because it's very hydrating. And the shine that you can see on my entire face is mainly from this product. So you do want to be a little bit careful, because otherwise it can end up looking greasy. I think all of us have personality traits that we either love or we don't. And I think as you grow up and as you grow older, and I'm 25 right now, you kind of think, well, almost 26. You kind of think about the things that you like and you don't like in every aspect of life, whether it's your personality or it's, you know, your job, or all of us, whether we like to admit it or not, have some insecurities and have some personality traits that we would rather get rid of than actually have. There are 3 personality traits that make it very difficult for me sometimes to do things, and they create a certain kind of feeling inside of me that I don't necessarily like. And I think one of the first ones that I want to discuss is, and especially when it comes to filming, I am a very chaotic person. Somehow. I'm gonna start with some underpainting, by the way. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer, and this is in the shade Light. I sometimes wish there was a shade Fair, because in my winter era it's not always the best shade, but it still works right now. And I actually start my makeup routine by underpainting. So I use a bronzer first after my skincare. And before I do that, I'm gonna actually use the Essence Fix It Like a Pro Transparent Brow Fixing Gel, and this to just give my brows a little bit of the shape that I want them to be. I do this very lightly, and then in the end I go back in. And then I go in with the bronzer and just a brush, and I apply it to my face. I'm quite a chaotic person in the sense that especially my thoughts, like I am chaotic physically as well. Like my room, I'm not gonna say it's not clean, because it's clean, because I do really love to clean, and sometimes obsessively so. Does that mean that I am very neat and orderly? Absolutely not. My room, I wish you could see it, but I'm not gonna expose myself on the internet like that. My room is very messy, and it's not messy in the sense that it is unhygienic, because the mess has a sense to it. But I think one of the main issues that I run across, my thoughts just being all over the place. There is no structure in my brain, and that is kind of the thing with like being chaotic, and especially in my thought process. I cannot get a clear line of the things that I want to discuss and how I want to discuss them, and then I'm starting with one point and that leads to another, and then another and another. And eventually I end up in a situation where I don't remember what I initially started talking about. And that was actually the point that I wanted to get across. So the second one is being forgetful. So not a very good combination when you're very chaotic in the things that you think, the things that you say. And being forgetful is so annoying because especially in like work related things, there's a lot of stuff that comes onto your plate and then you have to be like, oh, I forgot about that one. I forgot about that one. Oh, I didn't think about this. Oh, there's a deadline tomorrow. If you ask some of the people that know me for any considerable amount of time, they will tell you that one of my things that I am is being chaotic. I think for my roommate, she sees me being chaotic in the sense that I leave my stuff everywhere and then I don't remember to pick it up. Like I lose my keys, my phone constantly because I drop them somewhere in a chaotic kind of mood and I don't remember where they are. So the forgetfulness. So that is the bronzer. I'm gonna quickly continue with the blush. This is the Essence Baby Got Blush. I'm gonna link all of the products down below. But I think the forgetfulness is one of the more annoying factors when you're filming because, you know, when you're either reviewing products or you have a specific idea, and I'm gonna talk about this later, about the specific idea of what you want the video to look like, and you want to make it interesting and you want people to understand what you're saying. It's very difficult to forget things along the way because that's not what you wanted. Those are probably two of the personality traits that, you know, in any other situation are annoying but that I could live with. Very quickly, and I'm also gonna apply, sometimes I do this depending on how bright I want my blush to be. This is the M Cosmetics So Soft Blush in the shade Lychee, and I just kind of apply that on top of this is very intense, but today is kind of like a gloom day, so I want intenseness. And also we're underpainting, so it's gonna get like a little bit toned down anyway. And after this, I'm gonna apply my foundation. Now this foundation is as good as dead, I'm not gonna lie. This is the Fenty Beauty Blur and Smooth Tint Stick, and this is in the shade 2. So when I kind of want to show you this because it's really cool, but as you can see, when I pull it up, I have no product left. I have no product left, but then there's a little bit kind of a specific click if you keep twisting this. Did you hear it? Twist it up further, a little bit more product. So I guess the third one is kind of what paralyzes me in a lot of ways when it comes to my life. It's a personality trait that I am absolutely not fond of, and it's this need to be very perfectionistic, and I hate it. I wouldn't say every day I go about my life and I'm afraid of making mistakes, but it kind of ends up being like that. I am someone who in a way is very deeply insecure about my skill set and my capabilities, my capacities as a person. You know, the perfectionism is not wanting to make mistakes and to be always good at something, which is impossible to do. Like I took lessons for my driver's license, and at the end the guy, he said I was doing very good, but that I just needed to be less nervous to make mistakes. You know, to him I seemed very slightly perfectionistic. So if even my driver instructor can see that I am quite perfectionistic, you know, you can imagine that it's very obvious to most of my friends and most of my family and probably most of my colleagues as well. Insecurity and not being good enough, and I don't want people to doubt my skill set and my capabilities, and in that sense also my intelligence. And it's something very difficult for me, I feel like, because inevitably you make mistakes, and that is something that I find very difficult to cope with. I don't feel a certain way about myself because I'm chaotic and I'm forgetful. Sometimes it's extremely, you know, frustrating and annoying, but it doesn't make me feel negatively about myself. Doing stuff at work and never getting any criticism, doing stuff at home and never getting any criticism, making sure that gifts are okay, blah blah blah. Making sure even in the way that I talk to people that I say the right thing, that I keep my expressions in a certain way. It's time consuming and it's also emotionally very challenging at times. You never want to show a bad side of yourself, which exists, obviously. A bad side of yourself does exist, and it's a thing. And it's not necessarily a bad side, it's just a different side. And I know what you're gonna say in the comments, or what some of you are gonna think. Yes, I'm a Capricorn. I know it has apparently to do with that, but part of my Capricornness apparently is also to be very skeptical of all the astrology stuff. So the thing that I think personally where this kind of level of perfectionism comes from, and this deep-rooted fear of making mistakes and the unworthy feeling it gives me, is I think probably my childhood, I'm not gonna lie, and I think it created this insanely need for me to be always approved by people. It's kind of like a people-pleasing thing. I think when it comes to social interaction, I am 100% a people pleaser. I think about people's mimics in their faces and the things that they say in a certain way, and I think about what I'm gonna say and how, you know, I think so deeply about my interactions. I'm gonna go over the traits again, okay? So I'm forgetful, I'm chaotic, and I'm perfectionistic. And coupled with that is also, again, the feeling of making mistakes or something not being as I want it to be. And that feeling is incredibly important to understand why I was away for a while, and maybe why sometimes if you have similar traits that you recognize it. Being perfectionistic and not being up to par with my own expectations creates a very negative feeling inside of me. It's very physical. And also, apart from that, mentally, it makes me feel like garbage most of the time. It makes me feel, like I said it before, it makes me feel very unworthy, and I doubt myself and I doubt my skill set. Because of that, I start to avoid doing things that I like to do, and that is something very tricky to control. And because I'm also quite avoidant at times, it's a very paralyzing feeling. I'm quickly gonna set my face. Oh no, I'm gonna do concealer. This is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Glow Multi-Purpose Concealer, and it's a really nice concealer. I just put a little bit, it's actually already a little bit too much underneath my eyes, and then I blend it out. Now I'm gonna quickly powder my face very, very lightly with the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. I think is the shade 105 Natural Ivory. Doing YouTube and makeup is something that I like to do. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I've enjoyed doing that since 2017. And since then, you know, I've kind of grown into the filming habit and into creating and being, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a content creator, but a makeup enthusiast and occasional poster. They often say that comparison is the thief of joy, and that is true. Like, once you compare yourself to other people, especially if you are already quite perfectionistic like myself, and I know the things that I show right now are not necessarily what I want them to be. I don't think they are as interesting, as creative, as maybe entertaining when you put those personality traits into something like filming for YouTube, which I like doing. When you pick up filming and you go into it knowing that you're gonna be all over the place again, because it's just kind of who you are and it's difficult to remedy that. You're also gonna forget things. During the filming, you have this feeling of it has to be like that and like that and like this. Even if that goes well, there is still this feeling throughout of it not being great and it not being interesting enough for people to watch it. Watching yourself, you're scrutinizing yourself, you're looking at yourself for hours on end to make sure that the video that you create is interesting enough. You start to notice, oh, this isn't that great, that isn't very well said, I cut off this thought process, this doesn't make any sense. And then it's also like technical aspects, like, oh, the lighting is very overexposed, the lighting is very underexposed, the white balance is very pink, I look too green, not the most pleasant experience. And every single time you have this feeling of like, oh, it's not great, it's not good. And like I said, it's not only thoughts that I have, it's also that emotional feeling and that very physical feeling of like, ugh, I don't want to. So that, all of that was kind of happening for months on end, and I was kind of pushing myself to film. But every time that I tried to do that, I was just feeling very bad about myself, because I started recording and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Okay, very quickly back to makeup. I'm gonna apply a little bit of lip liner and lipstick. So with me, I already applied some Vaseline, but I have one lipstick isn't really here and I want it to be here. So this is the REM lip liner pencil in the shade Harmonies. It's very beautiful because it's a very close color to my actual skin lip color. So I just kind of line my lips with that very lightly. I'm gonna quickly get my mascara and the lipstick that I usually wear every single day, and I'll be right back. I'm back. This is only one example where especially my perfectionism kind of paralyzes me in life, in a hobby that I do. I think that authenticity is very important in everyone's conversations, to also just make, you know, connections to other people. And I'm currently back. I'll see how often I can be back again, but I do want you to know that if you have any of those traits that I discussed, that it's okay obviously to have them. It's very inherent to yourself. And even the forgetfulness and the chaoticness is something that endears a lot of people to me, apparently, and it's not something that they would necessarily take away. But I hope you kind of understood what I was trying to say, and I hope you found it reliable in a way. Relatable. Have I been saying reliable this entire time? My god. I'm gonna think about that very often. I'm gonna apply some lipstick. This is the lipstick that I use every single day. This is the Lisa Eldridge Painterly lipstick. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now because it's full on fall and winter. So I just kind of go over and then it creates, I can build it up if I wanted to, but I have some Vaseline on, so it's a little bit like lighter. But it creates a very nice darker berry tone, which I really like. I'm just gonna apply my Catrice Fake It Volume Lashes, it's the yellow one, and create some eyeliner with the Essence Fine Line Liner pen. It's actually not that one, I use the Essence Eyeliner Pen Waterproof with the blue stuff. Okay, and that's it. So this is the everyday makeup routine, and also just some of, you know, getting to know me on a deeper level, some of the personality traits that I have. So I hope you found this video somewhat interesting. I have a couple of ideas of what I want to film next, like a project pen update, because it's been so long. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe if you want to hear more reliable, relatable stories, or just things that I want to discuss. And just let me know if you have any suggestions or ideas. Let me know as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!